Hi, I'm Brenda Martin. I'm downtown here at the Lumberyard. It is an exciting and fabulous place to come. I'm here with the owner and developer, Doug Smith. Doug, how are you today?
I'm doing great, Brenda. Thank
Well,
you.
I'm told that the Lumberyard is a premier project that started in 2007. Talk about it a little bit.
Yes, I'd been on the corner with my recording studio for some 30 years when the property started becoming available. And most of the developers in town had a vision for the land being just scraped and something else being built in its place. I saw something different, and from there I started making plans, and we had our initial first party with the young professionals and a Halloween party, and had 800 people here, and I said, looks like it's going to work.
This is a winner, huh?
Exactly.
Well, you know, the history about the Lumberyard, this facility, if you will, is quite interesting as well. Talk a little bit about that.
Well, Mr. Booth started the Lumberyard in 1895. He built over 1,100 homes in the county. Not only was it his lumberyard, but he had offices here where he was a builder, a contractor, and had a hardware store, much like Harrison Brothers, that sold all the hardware that you needed to finish the house with, and also had the mortgage company. So it was a one-stop shop for him. And the ads that I've seen have him saying things that, like, every man should own his own home. And he did everything to make that happen. And there were reports of people saying, Mr. Booth was so great when I got the cancer. He told me I didn't have to make my payments until I felt better.
Oh my.
So with that kind of spirit, we thought it was great to just name the place after him and keep it going.
That's during the times when a handshake
Yes, exactly.
was your contract,
Right.
was it not? I
Right.
love it. I love it. Well, now, the other thing that I've heard is that this place, you won't find anything like this anywhere else. Why do you think that?
Well, because there is this part of history that we've preserved here, and location-wise, we had a lot of space to stretch out, where in some areas, you know, a big city, you don't have this much property to deal with. So we had advantages in that area, and I think that there's the portion of how we have turned the property with our repurposing of items and the blend of eclecticness and whimsy and that sort of thing all pull elements together to make it just totally unique.
What is the square footage, if you will, of this property?
It's almost 2 acres.
It's 2 acres. And on this 2 acres, you have what? You have restaurants, you have a barn, which we're sitting in. Talk a little bit about this barn.
Well, this is what we refer to as the kiln on the property. We think this was the kiln originally for the lumberyard where they dried wood. And what was unique about this space when we first found it was that there was, at the end of the building, was a cardboard wall with a lot of garbage. It was a cabinet shop, and the guy who was working in here just sort of piled stuff at that end of the building because he would go out that door. So when we started cleaning it out and I began pulling things down, I discovered that there was this entire side of a house behind the cardboard wall. It appears that the brick wall behind the house front is a different brick done at a different time period. So it seems like they cut the house off and built another building there, and it's in the place of the house. And just left the facade of the house
Amazing.
with the windows that open
Yeah.
and the doors that open. So we went and got some pictures from the square back in the day and blew those up and added and created our stage.
Wonderful. So what else is here on the premises?
Well, we have several elements. We have a train car,
A train car.
a passenger train car from 1924, number 2007 from the Pullman line. It is a unique one, last of its kind, and we are restoring that as a dining car. It'll have a small bar in it.
It'll be wonderful.
We have a large patio, garden patio that has seating for over 100 people. And we have our main courtyard, which was the lumberyard, with the surrounding buildings, some historical buildings that have been there over 100 years, as this building has been here over 100 years. We have a switch shack on the corner, which was the original house for changing the tracks to allow the lumber trains, cars to be pulled into the lumberyard and unloaded and then put back on the rails. We have a kitchen that supplies the place. We have a banquet hall. We have a veranda. We have an upstairs VIP room that used to be the night watchman's place when this was a junkyard. It was an auto parts place for 50 years, and a junkyard was what we found. We had stacks of rubber tires and trees growing out of cars and petrified raccoons here and there. So it was a real cleanup job for us in that time. And there's lots of nooks and crannies that are around the place. So we often find people just wandering and exploring, and it's great for parties because the people who want to be in front of the stage have dancing room. The people who want to talk find a little corner out of the way.
Yes.
And so that it makes for a really unique space in the way we've kind of assembled all the buildings and the walkways and connected everything.
With you being a former, or are you a former musician, or do you still do work?
I don't play professionally anymore. I retired from that and became an engineer producer and worked in the recording studio for almost 40 years now, and developed artists and signed artists, and it was that success. I got lucky and had some gold records and number ones and Grammy Award things and all that, unlike most musicians that can tend to spend their money real quickly thinking they'll have another hit. My wife, who I've been with for 40 years now too, has helped me invest in property.
Sure.
So
that's great.
Yeah.
Great. Well, now, what's the economic impact, do you feel, that the lumberyard has had in the city of Huntsville?
Well, we're generating millions of dollars in revenue in the restaurant and the venue, so there's that tax income that comes to the city, so that's a definite plus. Probably the bigger impact is where we're putting this venue on a regional, national scale. We just hosted the T-Bex party here.
Yes.
We had people from Ireland and LA and New York, all of them saying how they've never seen any place like this.
There you go.
The uniqueness of it. And so we find ourselves on a Saturday or Sunday afternoon with strangers walking in, wanting to, explore the place, saying, I was here 3 years ago and my family came to visit and I wanted to show them this, or I was driving by and saw the lights. And so we have a lot of tourists that come to the place, and we also are making some great memories because we have a lot of weddings, retirement parties, birthday parties, and so it becomes a very special place on that end. A lot of good vibes.
A lot of good vibes, huh?
Yeah.
Well, Doug, you've done such a great job here. Where do you go from here?
Well, the next step for us is finishing the train remodeling. We're real excited. That's going to be a dining car, as I said. And I have been blessed to have family members that have come on board with the project. So I've got my daughter and son-in-law working here.
Wonderful.
And so hopefully where I go from here is to the beach and they take over.
They take over. A great retirement, right?
I just get to build birdhouses.
Okay. Well, we're so glad that you're here with us here in Huntsville, and thank you for your innovative ideas, if you will, and we look forward to being here a lot.
I appreciate it.
All right.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for taking time with us today.
My pleasure.